Hey everyone, it's Kai. Just finished watching the stream, the first episode of Overdress, and yeah, it was pretty darn good. It was an actual anime. All right, we'll talk about the anime a bit later, but let's talk about the new cards. They announced new cards today as well. It's a double stream week, pretty crazy. These cards are Dark State cards, mainly revolving around buffing Final Rush, and I don't know, Final Rush, in my opinion, from the start deck seemed pretty good, one of the better ones. But these new cards really makes the Final Rush mechanic even stronger, really good. So let's start with all the cards. Steam Detective Overtrigger. This is Gear Chronicle, it's nice. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle, choose one of your other units in the same column as this unit, and it gets power 2000 until the end of turn. And if you're in Final Rush, it gets plus 5000 until the end of turn. So basically, turn 4 onwards, nice buff. Probably won't see in premium. I think a lot of these cards you won't see in premium at all. Final Rush really isn't a thing, but this is for the new standard, and I think it is okay. It is okay. We don't really have a lot of other grade ones that we want to run in the deck. Right now, when we look at cards, we're basically seeing there's a lot of space where, you know, you want to fill them up, right? And this basically kind of is like a filler. It's a common, but it should be fine, right? It's free. That's the biggest thing. The second card here is Protoball Dragons. Looks like another Gear Chronicle card. Auto on the rearguard circle. When this unit attacks or boosts, if you're in Final Rush, counterblast 1 and put another rearguard into your soul. Choose a card from your soul and put it into your hand. So I think it's quite alright. You can kind of trade cards on the field for like a trigger back to hand, which can be quite relevant just because the defensive power so far is quite low in terms of just cards in general, like defensive power in general. Trading a 5k up for a 15k could be worth it for a counterblast, so I guess it's okay. You just need a boost of it as well. The biggest problem with this card, I think, is that you need to be in Final Rush, so there's basically no effect until like turn 4 onwards, right? So that's the weakness, but from then maybe you can kind of make a comeback in getting cards out from your hand and being able to just, you know, make a good defense, right? The third one we have is Upward Acrobat Marjorie. Auto on the rearguard circle once per turn. When this unit attacks, if you're in a Final Rush, put one of your other rearguards into your soul and draw a card. Soul charge 1, and this unit gets power plus 10,000 to the end of the turn. I actually really like this card, right? So it's similar to the Protoball Dragon before, but you get 10k power, which is nice. You get 23, which is a 15k defense, and then when you play on a Persona ride, this becomes 33, so it needs a two card guard. It draws you a card. It trades a card from your field and converts it back to hand, which is good, and it also gives a soul charge 1. So you can fill up you basically get 2 cards into soul to fill up for next turn of like the Final Rush restanding. So I like it. I actually like this card a lot. It pretty much just probably be the second grade 3 you run. There is another grade 3 that soul charge 1 if you're in Final Rush gets like plus 15k. So it's pretty comparable, what you might want to play, but I think this is a really good card to put in. And then lastly, we have the ones that we're talking about or promoting, right? The Abelos Boys. Ethan, it's the boys, all right? Continuous rearguard circle. If you're in the Final Rush, this unit gets power plus 5k and if this unit stands this turn by a card effect, so it can't be by the stand phase, gets critical +1. So I feel like the critical +1 is just like kind of icing on the cake. It's kind of a weird timing for the +1 to occur, because, you know, you'd rather just have the crit for the whole turn, but that'd be pretty broken, right? But by the time you restand these boys, they need to be at like 4 damage for you to really get the maximum effect of the crit. Of course, if they're on 3, then you just take it, and that's that. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. The second effect is that when this unit attacks hit, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire. I don't think that effect is really that good. What are you going to retire, right? There's not that many high quality cards you want to retire right now. So that effect is just kind of lame. It's on hit as well. Not really great. But the first effect is, yeah, it's okay. It gets crit. Maybe it can help push damage. Pretty strong on a Persona right turn. It's like 25 with a critical. Seems alright, but that wasn't all. That wasn't all. They showed us the Dark States Overtrigger. So let's take a look. Hades, Dragon Deity of Resentment, Gull Mage Held. So Overtrigger, you get, trigger 100 million, blah, blah, blah. If revealed during the drive check, activate its additional effects, and the additional effect is you get, during your turn, all your Vanguards get power plus 10,000 plus 1 critical until the end of this fight. Now, that's pretty good. We saw Dragon Empire restanding Vanguard. We're like, not bad. Not bad. If you trigger it early, though, the impact is kind of small. So yeah, if you trigger an Overtrigger early, it's just a waste. It's just a waste. Your opponent takes 1 damage, and that's it. This gives you an effect for the whole game. If you trigger this effect, the earlier you trigger this effect in standard, the more steamrolling your entire game is gonna be. Tanking in a crit, like let's say grade 1, you're going second, you trigger this, you're hitting 18k of a crit, your opponent likely no guarded that, right? So they're taking 2 damage. What are they gonna do? Next turn, it's gonna be 20k in a crit. Are they gonna guard that? Guarding is hard indeed, dude. Guarding is hard indeed. They have to guard it because it's 2 damage again. And there is no good way to guard it that early. There is just actually no way, right? What, you're gonna drop 2 15Ks to guard that? Are you just gonna want to pass? All of these options are not good, right? And then from then on, what are you gonna do? Grade 3 comes, they have Twin Drive, the 23 just by itself without doing anything. Yeah, you're pretty much donezo, right? It's not great. The Persona Rider's gonna hit 33. Barrow Magnus basically gets like a 3 crit Vanguard skill. It's pretty crazy. The earlier you trigger this Overtrigger, games will just, I think you basically win the game unless your other Overtriggers are just as amazing. I mean, sure, if you trigger this later, you get less of its effect, but you still get 100 million. So I don't think there is any reason why you wouldn't run this at all. Why you'd run like the Cray Elemental one. I'd just rather run this. I'd just rather run this. In Premium, maybe it's a bit weird, right? Maybe Premium, it's a bit weird. Can you imagine in Premium, you're gonna damage your opponent, you swing under, right? Your 7k swings under their 8k to get the drive check. You trigger this Overtrigger, you give them 2 damage, and then they ruffle stomp you and kill you, right? But I still think even this, like, it's not as bad in Premium as you'd think. I'd probably still run this. But yeah, I think this is a pretty busted Overtrigger. And I think, like, this additional effect kind of sets the stage for the last 3, right? We thought a trigger would just be like standing Vanguard. What is the other stuff gonna do? Was it gonna just stand your whole field? Was it gonna stand blah, blah, blah? Well, now you have the ability to gain effects for the whole game. I don't know, man. It's another stage, right? It's another brain stage, right? So I think this card is amazing. Moving on, there is still anime. I watched the anime. The anime was really good. It felt like an anime. I'm not going to give any spoilers here. You guys can watch it. The anime is not archived, and I don't think the English premiere will be archived as well. So you should watch it. I think you should. If you missed out, watch it. If you watched it already, watch it again. There's some great memes, and there's some great production. On the stream before, they were really hyping up the Danji versus Toya battle. And I mean, hype, you probably go like, huh, it's just hype, who cares? I can confirm the hype is real, the hype is legit. So yes, go watch it. If you miss this one, then you either have to wait till April 3rd for the official release, or you can, I'm sure someone else has clipped some of the stuff that you can watch. So you can go check that one out. But don't miss it. Don't miss it. Apparently they will have more announcement on this one, so it's not just you rewatching an old stream. I think maybe they say the English one will have a few more announcements. So yeah, announcements are good. Go check it out. And there is a secret hashtag campaign, but you know, all that stuff, go for it. So that is basically all the news. Kind of fast. It's pretty late. Just had to speed run this one. But it's not like the news was bad. The news is pretty good. The anime was really good. Again, I can't say how good the anime is. I can't stop saying how good the anime is. You guys should really watch it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the anime if you've seen it already. And also, what do you think of this Overtrigger? This Overtrigger is legit. I just have to say, this Overtrigger is bonkers. So yeah, see you guys in the next video, probably tomorrow. It'll be top decks. So yeah, bye.